everybody. Welcome back to High on Feminism, the pre-show. I'm excited to be joined here today by Kassia, who is the Director of Community and Strategy for Cannaclusive. Kassia, how are you? Welcome.
Hi there. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Excited to have you on the show. So today, as all of our episodes, we are always sponsored by some really amazing cannabis and CBD brands. So you get some products, I get some products, we get to share and talk about all of them. So the first thing we're going to talk about, the company that we are so excited about working with, we've worked with them in the season 1 and we're continuing with them in season 2, is Empire Glassworks. So they have been kind enough to donate pipes to all of our guests for both season 1 and season 2. So having this cool little pipe here. The company was founded in 2013 and a percentage of their sales go to causes in land, sea, air. So everything from bees to pandas to coral reefs, they are here to help out and make sure that they're giving back. So this is their cool little pipe that they gave me, which is sort of like an Antarctic themed look to it. How did you like your pipe? I can't remember what color you got.
I think I got like a green and blue type of colorway. It's really cute. And my thing with pipes is it's typically one of the first implements that anyone uses when they are consuming cannabis, like in a smokable way. So it's like when I was in high school, we had the pipe, we had the bong, and the apple.
I've never smoked out of an apple before, but I've always wanted to do that.
It can be like a rite of passage. Not so much anymore, but I feel that back in the day, it was definitely like a rite of passage.
Yeah. It's funny that you say like pipes are one of the first things that people sometimes use when they're starting to smoke. And yeah, like I remember when I first started at like 15 or 16, like joints weren't really a thing then, like those were the hardcore people. So we always had pipes. And my high school boyfriend, I had talked about how like I hated flowers. I had an ex that just, anytime he'd fuck up, he'd get me flowers. And I was like, I hate flowers. I don't want flowers. So for our 1-month anniversary, he got me a pipe in my favorite color. And it was like, oh my God, this is the best gift I've ever received. It was like my first pipe ever. It was orange with like yellow swirls and it was, the smaller one. So it was like this big. But yeah, what was your first pipe?
My first pipe actually had somewhat similar colorways. It was like blue, white, kind of orange, and then obviously like a bit clear. And the thing with like your pipe is it's really personalized. Most people are going to take the time out to find a pipe that looks really well, but that also fits well in their hands. Yeah. So I like that aspect of the pipe when I can have combustibles.
Yeah, that's what I like about Empire too, is they have the traditional like size, just colorful pipes, but then they also have, again, like this one that has like penguins and little ice sculptures on it, or like this one with the big old cat eyes, like so funny.
Cute. And I love that they give back, because like oftentimes a lot of cannabis can be just very transactional and there are people who are in this space just for money. So knowing that they're giving back to people is really important to me.
Yeah, and I know too that they also sometimes customize their pipes based on whatever like the cause is. So for instance, like they give to Susan G. Komen, which is obviously around breast cancer, and they actually have a pipe that is like 2 boobs. And I know that the percentages of those sales go specifically to the Susan G. Komen Foundation. So yeah, that I'm loving all of the brands in the cannabis space that are really like not just being transactional, like you said, they are trying to give back in several different ways. And I think that's super important because our world's going to shit. So someone's better be nice, we gotta have.
You can't see, but the stream is on fire.
Yeah, like, we won't even get into the political stuff. We won't go there. Today's about fun.
I mean, technically we're there because we're talking about cannabis, but I get what you mean.
Yeah. But one of the other products that we're working with, and Obviously, High on Feminism is all about, highlighting women entrepreneurs and highlighting women in business. And so we try to work with as many women-owned companies as possible when we work with our sponsors. And one of the women-owned companies that we are working with this season is Potly. These are super fun, like honey. There's the sriracha one, and then this is like a dream Potly sort of thing. The woman who founded it, her name is Felicity Chen. She's an Asian American woman located in the Bay Area. And she is a third generation sauce and spice maker, which when I was preparing for this and I read that, I was like, well, now I have to have her on so I can understand what a sauce and spice maker, like, what does that entail? Because I'm interested.
I really enjoy Potly ever since I had the pleasure of being introduced to initially Christine, who is one of the co-founders, and Felicity. Like really great high quality products. Obviously, I love that it's made by women who are also BIPOC, well, Asian American in particular. And then they just have, really good high quality products. I've had the pleasure of trying a couple of different things. Their olive oil, their infused honey, obviously the sriracha, which I love, period. And now that there's a sriracha shortage, I'm like, are you kidding? So it's nice to have this infused sriracha to help to take away the pain of my favorite brand of sriracha. Although lots of people will argue with me, having some trouble right now. And then also the CBN honey, it's so good. I love using it whenever I need to sleep. I love the CBN honey. It's really nice and relaxing. Yeah. It doesn't have like a weird aftertaste. So when you put it in your tea, it's pretty delicious. It's good stuff from good people.
Yeah. The other thing I think is like, apart from, the giving back side of things, is that a lot of these companies that are started, when you look at the history of why they're started, it's always for medicinal reasons. And that's basically like, where Felicity came from. Like her dad was a beekeeper and she had grown up with, the idea of food as a medicine versus, people who are just trying to shove their kids with all these over-the-counter medicines and stuff like that. And her mom, I believe, had some asthma-related issues and an autoimmune disease. And that's originally why they started making it, because she understood the benefits that cannabis has from a medical standpoint. But, like some parents, especially, hers was an Asian American, like immigrant, they're not going to be ready to just sit down and light up a joint and like go at it, so creating something like this, like you said, it can be put into your teas, it can be put into, it looks like, let's see, fruits, cheeses is what we're thinking of, which
drizzle it over, like if you are having a bagel with cream cheese, just drizzle it over that, like, okay, your fresh fruit, whatever it is, just like a little bit.
Yeah, it's nice. Like so each of them has about like 10 milligrams of THC. So the sriracha has the 10 milligrams. And then the strains that are in there are OG Kush, Lemon Skunk, and Purple Train Wreck. I always love the names of weed strands because it's just like, am I going to die? Like, Purple Train Wreck.
The most hilarious one that I've heard so far is definitely like Alaskan Thunderfuck. I'm just like, someone was just really out there that day, just
was like, let's do it. Alaskan Thunderfuck.
I've never had it. I want to try it, but I do feel that like I'll need to have a couple days of rest afterwards, maybe. I don't know, just based on the name alone.
Yeah, just some time to take a little nap. But then so the dream one, this one, like you said, is CBN, and CBN stands for what?
I totally forgot like the scientific name, but I do know that it helps really with sleep.
Okay. So there's 10 milligrams of CBN, 5 milligrams of THC, so a little bit less of a dosage, and then 3 milligrams of CBD. So again, having that like effect where, it helps you lull to sleep, helps you kind of, if you're having a hard day, like unwind, tea at night, drip a little in, like you said, or I love a good charcuterie board for dinner. So tonight I'm just gonna drizzle it on my charcuterie board. Friday.
Delicious.
Yeah, right, Friday. So yeah, I'm super excited about these because any products, like I said, her mom wasn't, into the idea of smoking a joint. And I think for a lot of people, that's where they don't like cannabis and they're turned off with it. It's the idea of smoking. So it's great that there's all of these edible products, that aren't edibles, because some people feel a type of way about edibles, but products like these that can just be used in like your everyday life. And how easy is this to just, plop it into your bag?
And those are good, not even just for people who like don't want to smoke, they're people who can't smoke. There have been times when, especially when I was sick, where I had to like basically give up on the combustibles and then just have like edibles or drinkables. And those were like a lifesaver in so many ways, to help with like pain management, with nausea, and then just to like bliss the heck out sometimes, because like you're under a lot of stress. But then like I also have to like advocate for myself, which can be very difficult for lots of different reasons. So I was really lucky to have the option of having edibles and drinkables with me.
Yeah. We've talked about, how you've used cannabis and CBD for your medical uses in the past. And again, like moving into a more holistic approach to medicine is, especially just with the overdose everywhere, opioid addiction, they're, like I said, the pharmaceutical industry is all about really making money and less about the actual people that they're putting drugs into. And it's really great that there's just so much education that's coming out, and people are really trying to push the education that's coming out about the medical sides of it. Obviously, we have our High Talks episode coming out too, where we really break it down there. But it's been so great just like learning from you, even from some of the different like products you've used in the past to help with your pain management, and taking that and allowing other people to understand that you don't have to take all of these little pill forms that can really, unfortunately, have some severe like side effects and addiction issues. So something that is non-addictive is the direction we'd like to go with.
Yeah. And just to be clear, like my stance is that you can have pharmaceuticals, but you also have to be mindful of what it is that you're putting into your body. Yeah. There's things that we know are going to harm you continuously, and that are easily addictive no matter what background you're from. And so again, as you said, like having something that is non-addictive, there are very few people who are addicted to cannabis. No one, as far as we know, has died from cannabis use, but we do know that people have died from opioid use. So the facts are there, even if it's not necessarily written the way that some people want to see it, it's there. And which is why Reefer Madness 4.0 is just, because we're well past 3, is just absolutely wild to me. It's just like, you're still prescribing opioids and pushing opioids, and people are dying from them and being like heavily addicted to them. But then, although cannabis is legal for adult use in so many states, they're still criminalizing it and still trying to find all these weird loopholes to say that cannabis is bad when, and it's just like, okay, well, if you think cannabis is that bad, can we have actual money to go towards real research, not just from anti-cannabis companies, not just big pharma, but from independent researchers, So let's put this to bed. So give us the money to do this. Let's get the research done, put the results out there, and let's go from that point onward. Yeah,
agreed. I totally agree. It's like, if you really think that something is that bad, well, all right, like let's prove it and see, because again, like we've talked about it before, like I have people in my life that have had and currently have, opioid addiction, and it's tough and it's really hard to be a part of that, especially when it's your family members. And, unfortunately, a lot of, in each of those instances, it all stemmed from some sort of surgical procedure or medical issue where, they were prescribed those. And then from there, it just got out of control. And unfortunately, that's the way that a lot of it happens. And if we're able to, like you said, do the research and find and prove that cannabis is not harmful in the same ways that opiates are harmful, and cannabis is a better option, we can find those, because yeah, it unfortunately tears apart. I don't know the statistics, but I do know that there's a large majority of families in America who deal with opioid addiction. So, you know, finding a cure for that, not a cure, but finding a solution, a better solution, you know, is kind of the direction that I know you and I are both headed.
Yeah. we need safer pain management, and we need for people to not be under prescribed or over prescribed.
Yeah, agreed. With that being said, the other thing, you know, we like to mix everything up in terms of the products, but the last product that we are featuring, and this is another woman-owned brand, is AFG Sugar. They are the first rolling paper brand created by a minority woman to celebrate diversity, inclusivity, and Afghan heritage in the tobacco industry. So the woman who founded it, Stephanie Gerber, she is from Afghanistan. Her family is from there as well. And she's really working on bringing to light the minority groups that are, you know, historically behind cannabis. So that's the indigenous people, that's a lot of people from the Middle East, including Afghanistan, Iraq, you know, places like that. I think I just read the other day that one of the Middle Eastern countries, I can't remember which one, has like one of the highest like smoking rates of cannabis. And I was really surprised by that, considering you don't really hear about it that much from the Middle East. But again, just with like AFG Sugar, you know, I had a great conversation with her about the history from in Afghanistan, you know, where they came from, who the farmers were that started growing the weed, the different types of, again, medicinal uses that they, you know, were providing for their people. So it's, again, just bringing to light like the minorities and the history behind it, because with the new legislation, it's kind of been a male, white dominated world still, where they're trying to get all the licenses and be the laws and all this stuff. But it's like, this is a plant that has been around for generations upon generations, and it originally started with minority and indigenous people. So the fact that they're trying to take it away from them and have it be more of like a white facing, like, you know, consumer driven business, like that's where the issue lies for a lot of these companies. And, you know, AFG and Stephanie are really trying to make sure that their heritage and their history isn't forgotten about.
Yeah, I absolutely love seeing people from Asia and adjacent areas kind of coming out of the dark, because the same stigma that we have in our communities, they also have in their communities too.
Yeah.
You know, you have like the class stigma that's related to cannabis use. You have the religious stigma that's related to cannabis use. So seeing people like coming out and like kind of claiming their stake, I think that that's awesome. And when we think about certain strains like Afghan Kush, like, hi.
Yeah.
You know, so it just makes sense. And I think, like, you know, the Black and Latino people, we have had it very difficult in the United States. We should definitely embrace our other fam of color who are been in the space and who are now like letting themselves be known a bit more.
Yeah, definitely. It's great. I again, it's like all women too that are coming out, which is great. You know, like we need to come out pretty quickly in order to not be so back in.
That because it's dismal, and the rate of ownership for women has gone down like drastically, and I really want to see more women step into the space and be supported, and not just like little piecemeal things here and there, just like consistent support from men in the industry in particular, regardless of their race. Like, men really need to step up and support women. Oftentimes it's lots of women who are pushing forth advocacy. They're the ones who are working on the healing on a both internal community level and then externally.
Yeah.
So I think that they need to be paid their dues, their respect, and be given like full-on support.
Agreed. 100% agreed. Yeah. We have a long ways to go, you know, unfortunately, but it's good that, you know, we're able to like cultivate a community of women that are really focusing on the change. And, you know, that's why I do this. I want to make sure, like I said, I'm not an expert in this. I'm honestly just enjoying really like learning all of the things that I'm learning, from the different cultures to the history of it, to the different uses of it. And I think as long as we continue to move forward as like united women and, you know, focusing on what needs to happen in this industry, I think we can make a big change.
Most definitely.
Yeah, but I hope that you enjoy all of these products. We got some, obviously, like I said, rolling papers. They're pink, which I also love. The pipe, and then of course, keep using these. Those of you who are watching, we are going to be doing some discount codes so you can buy some Potly of your own and try it out at home. Kassia, where can everybody keep up with you and what you're doing?
You can clearly find me at Cannaclusive. On Instagram, that's at Cannaclusive. My personal Instagram is at Ms. Goodegg, MSGOODEGG, Ms. Goodegg. And then also Cannabis for Black Lives, at Cannabis for Black Lives, spelled completely normally on Instagram. And also the website is the same thing, cannabisforblacklives.com and cannaclusive.com.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much again for joining us. For everyone watching, you can catch us at On Feminism on Instagram, and be sure to check out our YouTube channel for the other pre-show episodes of this season. Thank you.
Thank you.